What if a moment of silence said more than any press conference ever could? What if a simple black screen, no message, no image, became a deafening cry from someone who could no longer pretend everything was fine? That's exactly what happened with Andrew Wiggins. In an instant, Golden State Warriors fans collectively held their breath. It began like any regular day on social media. But when Wiggins posted an Instagram story showing only a black screen paired with a melancholic background tune, the effect was immediate. There were no captions, no visuals, just an empty frame. And somehow, that silence echoed louder than any words. It stirred unease, sadness, and a haunting question that lingered in everyone's mind. What was happening with Andrew Wiggins? To grasp the full weight of that post, you have to rewind the clock. Wiggins wasn't just another role player on the Warriors roster. He was vital to their 2022 NBA championship run. While Stephen Curry lit up the scoreboard with deep threes and Draymond Green handled the gritty tasks behind the scenes, Wiggins was the glue that held everything together. He defended the opposition's best wings, secured key rebounds, and attacked the rim when necessary. Many fans and analysts agreed. Without his contributions, that title might have slipped through their fingers. That's why the decision to trade him at the last deadline stunned many. Yes, the Warriors were facing turmoil. After a strong start to the season, things had gone downhill, and the front office was feeling the heat. Something had to change. Although there was speculation around names like Jonathan Kuminga and even Draymond Green, the final decision landed on Wiggins. Despite playing at a high level, he was sent to the Miami Heat. On paper, the trade made sense. Golden State stayed afloat and made it to the playoffs. But emotionally, and within the hearts of many fans, something was missing. Wiggins was never loud or flashy. He carried himself with quiet confidence. His absence was noticeable on defense, during crucial plays, and in moments when the team lacked composure on the floor. Now, months later, that void seemed deeper, and his cryptic Instagram post only amplified the sense that something more serious was going on. If you're the kind of fan who loves the game beyond the box score, who follows the emotion, the narrative, and the unspoken truths, then you know this wasn't just a random post. You understand what lies behind the curtain. And that's why this community exists, to stay one step ahead of the headlines. What made this moment even more sensitive was the personal pain Wiggins has endured. Back in September 2024, Wiggins lost his father, Mitchell Wiggins. At the time, he was still with the Warriors. The organization, known for its supportive environment, became a sanctuary for him. Amid the grief, his teammates and loyal fan base gave him the space to continue playing and healing. But after being traded to the Heat, that support system vanished. Transitioning to a new team, adjusting to new tactics, living in a new city, all while mourning the loss of a parent, is not an easy journey. Wiggins never spoke publicly about his struggles, but that black screen post may have said everything he couldn't put into words. Fans immediately responded. Social media platforms flooded with messages. Hashtags bearing his name trended. Some asked for privacy and compassion. Others simply wondered, is Wiggins okay? Would he ever return to the one place where he truly seemed at peace? This isn't about trade rumors. Nothing official has been said. No insiders or agents have hinted at a possible reunion with Golden State. But the emotional bond between Wiggins and the Warriors was never severed. Even now, you'll still see fans rocking his number 22 jersey at Chase Center. He may have left, but he's far from forgotten. And sometimes, pain has a way of guiding us back to where we felt whole. Even if a return never happens, the fact that one silent post could generate such an emotional wave shows how deeply Wiggins still resonates with the Warriors community. He's more than just a stat line or a contract. He's part of a collective memory, the memory of a championship, of teamwork, of resilience. This brings us to a broader issue. How does the NBA, how do sports, in general, handle mental health? Athletes are more than performers. They're people. They're sons, fathers, and brothers. They mourn, they break, and they carry pressures no one sees. And sometimes, their only way to cry out is silence. Should the Warriors open the door if Wiggins ever wants to return? Or has that chapter closed? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it together. It's precisely the emotional void left by Wiggins that has sparked whispers. Whispers that have turned into a name echoing through Warriors circles. Derek White. To outsiders, it may sound like just another off-season rumor. But for those immersed in Warriors basketball, this potential move carries symbolic weight. After a season filled with difficult choices and painful changes, the Warriors are still chasing that glimmer of their former dynasty. And in that chase, Derek White doesn't just represent another piece. He could be the bridge between past glory and future hope. Golden State is at a crossroads. Stephen Curry is still playing at an elite level, but his time is limited. Draymond Green's leadership remains strong, but it too has limits. Even the addition of Jimmy Butler wasn't enough to lift the team beyond the second round of the playoffs. The Warriors are still good, but not great, and the front office knows their margin for error is shrinking with every game. According to sources like The Ringer, NBC Sports, and Yahoo Sports, Boston Celtics guard Derek White is a top target for Golden State this summer. And it's clear why. White fits seamlessly. He's a high IQ player, an elite defender, a cerebral reader of the game, and arguably one of the most overlooked talents in the league. He doesn't need the ball in his hands to impact the game. And in a system centered around Curry, that's priceless. But before diving into the trade specifics, let's pause. If you've read this far, it means you care about more than stats. You want the full story. So subscribe, hit that like button, and turn on notifications. Here, we go beyond the surface. Derek White, approaching his 31st birthday, is playing some of his best basketball. In the 2024-25 season, he posted averages of 16.4 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.1 blocks, and 1 steal per game. He shot 44.2% from the floor and an impressive 38.4% from three. Context makes these numbers even more remarkable. White became the Celtics' single-season leader in made threes, surpassing legends who wore the iconic green jersey. But what truly defines him are the intangibles, the subtle plays that don't show up in the box score. His ability to disrupt passing lanes, rotate at the perfect moment, deliver the extra pass, and always be in the right place at the right time is what separates him. He's the kind of player who turns a solid defense into a championship-level one. That's exactly what Golden State needs. However, Boston isn't in a stable position either. Their playoff run collapsed after Jason Tatum suffered a devastating Achilles injury. Eliminated by the New York Knicks in the second round, the Celtics' long-chased dream once again slipped away. And financially, they're now boxed in. Under the NBA's new collective bargaining rules, the Celtics, classified as a second apron team, can't easily stack salaries to make trades. They're caught between keeping their core intact and managing a bloated payroll. Though Boston wants to retain White over older veterans like Drew Holiday, his contract, a 4-year, $118 million deal with a player option, makes him one of their most valuable trade pieces. That's where the Warriors step in. Not just with interest, but with urgency. Curry can't wait forever. Draymond is aging, and Butler, as tough as he is, can't carry the load alone. Adding White to a defensive trio with Butler and Draymond would give the Warriors one of the most dynamic and versatile defensive units in the league. With White taking on multiple roles defensively, Curry could focus more on scoring, his specialty. But here's the roadblock. What can Golden State offer in return? Wiggins' departure cleared some salary room but left a defensive gap. Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody have potential, but they're still developing. Chris Paul's expiring contract could be included, but it holds little value for Boston without added assets. Kevon Looney, while tactically important, doesn't excite the Celtics front office either. Golden State may need to part with multiple draft picks, and even those have limited appeal since the Warriors rarely finish with high lottery odds. Emotionally, the trade would sting, especially following Wiggins' exit, which is still fresh in the minds of many fans. But logically, acquiring Derek White might be the Warriors' last best shot at another title run. So here's the ultimate question. Are the Celtics willing to let go of one of their most reliable players? And are the Warriors ready to sacrifice future assets for one last championship push? Tell us what you think. Should the Warriors pursue White? And if so, what should they give up? Share your take in the comments, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Because every behind-the-scenes story beats with heart, and you're watching it unfold from the front row.